Okay, one of the main questions on the Belief in God module is about why a scientific view of the universe can lead people away from God. And we introduce ourselves to scientific ways of looking at things through the Simpsons episode. And this document was something I gave to the classes for a debate afterwards. And what I'm going to do here is just going to explain this document, go through it, and hopefully that will make it a little bit clearer for anyone who wasn't quite sure first off. So, one of the main reasons why people stopped believing in God was because of a belief in the Big Bang. Now, the Big Bang was an event which happened about 13.7 billion years ago, where the universe was compressed. Everything in the universe was compressed into what's called a tiny singularity, and it was so squeezed up that it produced a huge explosion. And as the matter, which means things of the universe, flew away from this explosion, the forces of gravity and other laws of science joined some of this into stars. That's where we get the stars from. Now, about 5 billion years ago, so around 7 or 8 billion years after the Big Bang, our own solar system was formed, and the combination of gases on the Earth's surface produced early life forms. And over millions of years, these life forms evolved and adapted, creating plants, animals, and finally, about 2.5 million years ago, humans. Okay, so that goes very much against the initial idea which was given in the first book of Genesis, in the Christian Bible and also the Hebrew Scriptures, and to some extent in the Quran as well, stating that God created the universe, in certainly in Genesis, which says in 6 days. This led people to believe that perhaps that can't be true because of this new theory. And this was thought up in 1927 by a man called George Lemaitre. Now, what was Lemaitre's evidence for the Big Bang? The main evidence is what's called the redshift effect. And this is how scientists tell how far away a star is. The further a star is from us, the more red light it produces. And this is seen and observed through telescopes. And it's a bit like the sound of a siren. The closer that a siren is, the higher pitch it sounds. And as a siren, a police car, an ambulance goes down the road, you'll notice that the sound actually gets lower. So it's a similar idea. And for more on this, there's a very good website just there. You can pause this video and type that into your browser if you want to know more about the redshift, okay? So that's the evidence for the universe getting bigger and expanding. Now, the evidence for evolution is fossils. There are very many fossils of life developing from very simple to complex organisms. And there's also great similarities between our DNA and that of other species. And so this is how scientists have come to believe that we and everything you see today in the world has evolved from other organisms. Now, how may this lead people to atheism? Now, science can explain where the world came from and where humans came from. It seems as though without any reference to God. The Big Bang Theory also provides an alternative to the creation story, the 6 day creation, as I mentioned just now. And some people also find evidence discovered through this scientific method of testing and experiment and observation more believable because we can see it for ourselves. Now, some religious people may respond to this and say, actually, okay, we've got these scientific views of the universe. Okay, we accept that. But that doesn't mean that we have to stop believing in God. And this is what they would say to back up that. First of all, what caused the Big Bang? Something had to, and given our evidence in holy books, it would fit that this was God. God would be the only being more powerful enough to create the Big Bang. And we're going to go a little bit of the design argument here. The scientific laws such as gravity for the matter to form stars and solar systems had to be there from somewhere. And so God could have created the conditions, created the scientific laws ready for the Big Bang to happen. Secondly, and interestingly, the order of things happening in the Big Bang actually fits in with the religious account of creation. One of the 6 days created, in which God created the universe, could represent many billions of years. And the actual order of those 6 days, where religious texts say God created the universe, does seem to fit with the scientific order. The reference to the Big Bang with light, and then plants, trees, fish, birds, animals, then humans. And this is explained on this clip here if you wish to go to that. Thirdly, science can't explain things like our sense of right and wrong and the likes and dislikes. So although it may say where we came from, are you really happy to say that your personality, your tastes, your sense of morality, what's right and wrong, is that all made up of chemicals? If you believe that you've perhaps got some sort of personality which isn't just made up of scientific chemicals, neutrons, and atoms, you may think that could have come from a higher power. Now, some people will say that the Big Bang Theory, not the TV show, but the theory we just went through, and also evolution, is simply another theory which has no real proof. Creationists believe that there's plenty of evidence to suggest that the world was created in 6 days, 6,000 years ago, not 13.7 billion. And to see someone explain this point of view, there's a clip just there. Feel free to pause this video and type that into your browser above. To back up this belief that the universe is only 6,000 years old, they say, for example, that the apparent age theory suggests that God made the world to look like it was billions of years old, perhaps as a test of our faith. They also say that fossils are the evidence of the great flood in which Noah built his ark, and the fact they're broken and scattered also supports this idea. And they also point to family trees, which show the first people from the Bible living around 6,000 years ago. Okay, so that's a roundup of, first of all, the scientific views of the universe and how it can lead someone to not believe in God, and also what some religious people say as a result. I hope this video has made that a little bit clearer for you. Thank you for watching.